Hey everybody, just checking in here. I'm out and about running errands today. I am a hobbit through and through, but occasionally my wife prevails upon me to help out with the errands, etc. So now I'm taking my daughter to the orthodontist. She lost a rubber band, no, one of those like ring rubber bands on one of her brackets. So anyway, she's in there doing this. I wanted to do a quick check-in here. I was thinking today, I am teaching That Hideous Strength, and one of the curious things when you teach a book, well, first of all, like when you teach a book the first time, good luck. It is, you're just basically doing your best to stay a half step in front of the kids. There's a peculiar way in which when you teach a book, even if you've read it before, when you teach a book, you have to kind of read it in a different way. You have to be much more, oh geez, like circumspect. You have to have the long view in mind, but you also have to have a really close attention to sort of what you're reading right now, because the kids have all these questions that you have to kind of anticipate, and it's hard to anticipate, to be honest with you. But at any rate, but so that's the first time. But when you teach a book a second time, I always reread the books along with the students. I think it is sort of part of the contract. Like, you have to do this because it is so easy to forget the details of a book. And I just feel like, in the spirit of solidarity, that we're just going to do this thing again, and I'm going to do it together with them. So, anyway, it's okay. When you are teaching a book for the first time, it is just stay a half step ahead. All right, more later. Bye. Okay, well, we're back, and my daughter's orthodontist appointment was super fast, shocking. Never has happened before, ever, actually. But at any rate, and now, look at me. I'm here in the car recording a second part to my whatever this sort of daily check-in thing is, we're going to call it. And I have had to go onto the App Store and purchase some kind of editing software thing so I can stitch the first part of this video together with the second part of this video, which I'm talking right now. So anyway, I went back and took a look, and I was talking about teaching a book for the first time. And so now I am teaching That Hideous Strength for a second. Sorry, I have read That Hideous Strength a couple of times, and I have decided, that I'm rereading it along with my kids this time. And man, I tell you, it's like there's something about having to be responsible for the material in front of a class with smart, engaged kids that makes my brain just sort of open wide up. I mean, my salience sniffer, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. My ability to pay attention is sort of on steroids. It's really sort of hyper focused. I'm just looking for everything, anticipating every kind of question I can. So it's really exciting, and it is in that kind of exploration of a book that you really start to see the craftsmanship. You really start to see how a novel works or doesn't work. And I've actually had some novels that I really liked when I read them the first time, just as a student, and then when I've had to teach them, I'm less keen on their greatness. And there's a reason why I'm using the word great there, because I have to admit this might be a little bit unpopular, which is fine. But The Great Gatsby is a good read. I don't know how great it actually is. My pet theory on that one is that The Great Gatsby has one of the best finishes in all of American literature. And so, therefore, it leaves people with a kind of great taste in their mouth as they are wrapping up the novel. I think the novel is kind of flawed. Anyway, don't want to get too derailed with that. But here I am. I'm reading the final third of That Hideous Strength. And I tell you, there's this character, Augustus Frost. And it turns out that he's really kind of I wouldn't say he is the inner ring of the NICE. But he is right there at the center along with Wither. And I tell you, I'm reading passages right now from him, and it's like Lewis got into a time machine and he started watching uh, Harari TED Talks, because it is remarkably on point, anticipating this kind of transhuman, post-human reality that, of course, the NICE is engaged in. Really remarkable stuff. I think Lewis he's dead, of course. Lewis had a particular gift to speed run the implications of ideas that were just sort of gaining traction in his day. And I tell you, he's remarkable. Um, I've also read, I don't know where I was reading this, but that the third part of the trilogy, which is That Hideous Strength, we call it the Ransom trilogy in my household. The third part of the Ransom trilogy is very different from Out of the Silent Planet and Paralandra, parts one and two. And someone told me that in part that was due to the influence of, not sort of the normal inklings that everybody thinks of. God, what's his name? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Charles Williams, maybe it's Charles Williams. But at any rate, you can really tell how Lewis uh, was affected and influenced by his friendships. And that's, of course, been a theme that I've been um, podcasting about here and writing about. I wrote it today. You should go to my Substack. I wrote, I think, a pretty interesting piece on parasocial relationships and how a parasocial relationship is kind of like a one-way relationship. It's those peculiar kinds of relationships that you can have with, like a movie star or an actor or a rock star or a poet or a character of some sort, and it kind of goes one way. Um, anyway, I don't want to spoil the Substack. I'm working on this idea that I think that all social media is actually parasocial media because it is, even though it gives the illusion of being a two-way relationship, and certainly we can interact with one another in the comment section. Please always, I always forget to say this, but like and subscribe, leave a comment. I am very active in the comments. I like to interact with you all. And so, but it's not quite the same thing as a meat space relationship and an IRL relationship. And so, but social media gives you the illusion that you are in something else. Anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked with that. Go to my Substack. It's kalezelden.substack.com. Go ahead and subscribe and read to your heart's content. You have access to all my back posts and all that kind of stuff. My point here is that even someone as intelligent and well read and thoughtful as Lewis can be really influenced in positive ways here through his friendships. And friendships are a way of expanding out, extending our salience landscape in ways that we just simply aren't able to do alone. And so in fact, really, this is kind of, but on that score, I should say that with social media, I think you can, on the realm of ideas, you can extend your thinking through interactions online, especially Twitter. I love the Twitter. I'm very active on the Twitter, and I love just throwing ideas out there because like all these things in my head all the time, right? And oh dear, I'm gonna put those glasses back on. I have some sort of eye condition right now. I'm putting this sort of ointment on, which I hate having ointment. Ugh, I hate that word on me. Anyway, to deal with this condition. What was my point, though? My point was, I totally lost the point. Um, that through social media, especially Twitter, you can just throw your ideas out there. And sometimes, my ideas are terrible. Sometimes they're interesting. Sometimes I think they're inspired. Sometimes they're really stupid and they're about ball caps and how men shouldn't wear ball caps out and about unless they're working. And it blows up to like a 4 million impression hate tweet. Really amazing how that happened. But I really didn't have that plan. But anyway, I love the social media because you can try your ideas out right away. There they are. They're out of my head. They're onto the Twitter feed. Most of them get ignored, but some of them gain some traction, and I always learn things. And so I really do appreciate that portion of it. But clearly, Lewis in That Hideous Strength is sort of pre-channeling Yuval Noah Harari and this kind of post-humanist, really gross vision. He seems to think it's a great vision. I think of it as an apocalyptic one. At any rate, I've babbled on here now for a bit. And when I stitch this one to the other one, I probably don't want to go much longer than 10. That's kind of been my internal clock. So, at any rate, if you like these, leave a comment, like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers, and my good friend, both on the Twitter and in real life, Steve Skojic, .substack.com. You should check him out. He's a great writer. He's been following this UAP stuff, really interesting stuff. Great writer, great guy, a real friend. We've been able to connect in real life. But he challenged me to do this, what I'm doing right now, in different locations. He told me to, mix it up a little bit, Kale, like do your thing, just get it out there. He told me to do this once a day for 30 days just to kind of get the things going. And I got to tell you, right away, I was in a little bit of a creative rut. I was in a little bit of a thought rut. Christmas really kind of wrecked me, I think. But what has happened is I've started to do this, kind of just talked out loud and realize that I've got some or ideas are sort of working, percolating up there. And so anyway, I get to share them with you. It's very exciting. We are doing That Hideous Strength in one of my classes. In the other of my classes, we're just starting Paradise Lost. And so I'm looking forward to sharing my thoughts about Paradise Lost. We just got finished with book one. And man, I tell you, Satan has got some real bangers. Good stuff. All right. Anyway, until next time, cheers. God bless. Bye bye.